In a world overwhelmed by noise, chaos, and constant chatter, silence is your hidden strength. Today, everyone is rushing to speak louder, argue faster, and post quicker. We have grown addicted to being heard, but forgotten how to truly listen. And in that forgetfulness, we miss the rarest gifts life offers: stillness, patience, observation, wisdom. Here's a truth you may have never considered: silence isn't passive, it's receptive. It doesn't take, it attracts. While we assume talking gets us results, sometimes silence moves mountains. Let me share a story. There was a boy who reacted to everything. A harsh word, he snapped. Criticism, he fought back. He saw strength as defending himself constantly until his mentor said, "When a dog barks at the moon doesn't bark back. It keeps shining, untouched." From that moment, the boy changed, not because he became weak, but because he became wise. Real strength belongs to those who know when to speak and when to stay still. Most conversations today are just people waiting to reply, not to understand. Silence changes that. When you stop preparing your comeback and start truly listening, something magical happens. You begin to hear not just the words, but the emotion behind them, the pain wrapped in humor, the fear beneath anger, the loneliness behind pride. Next time you're speaking with someone, be fully present. Don't interrupt. Don't plan your response. Just watch. Listen deeply. You'll start noticing things you missed before. The person who smiles too much when hurt. The person who pauses before speaking when they're afraid of judgment. The colleague who pretends everything is fine, but their eyes tell another story. Silence teaches empathy because it slows you down enough to connect without rushing to fix or judge. Society trains us to speak well. Schools teach public speaking. Jobs demand presentation skills. But who teaches us how to listen? The greatest leaders, healers, and friends didn't always have the loudest voices. They had the deepest ears. They stayed still long enough to hear what the world tried to whisper. There's a saying: still waters run deep. The most powerful minds aren't always loud, they are clear, and clarity is born in quiet. Silence isn't just a strategy, it's a statement. There's a woman named Zara who worked in a competitive, noisy workplace. Everyone tried to outtalk each other, dominate meetings, prove their worth. She used to get caught in the chaos, explaining, defending, reacting. Until one day, drained and exhausted, she visited her grandfather. He said, "If your bucket is full of clean water, don't pour it into every muddy puddle you see." That hit her deeply. She began practicing intentional silence. No reaction to sarcasm, no defense against provocation, no emotional tug of war with people unwilling to understand. She chose peace over pride, stillness over stress, and soon her energy returned. Her calm became magnetic. Because silence protects your power. We waste energy explaining ourselves to those who have already made up their mind. We get drawn into gossip, drama, and debates that cost our mental peace. But those who master silence become radiant, not because they speak less, but because they preserve more. Here's a truth we often forget: every word we speak, every argument we engage in, pulls from our inner battery. Silence is like closing the background applications in your mind. It conserves your emotional energy. It keeps your clarity intact. Have you ever noticed how the strongest people don't react quickly? They don't bark back, don't scream for attention. They wait, they watch, they respond only when it matters. Silence teaches emotional discipline. It shows you how to choose growth over ego, peace over pride, intention over impulse. So the next time someone tries to push your buttons, ask yourself, is it worth your peace? Does it serve your purpose? Is it worth your energy? If not, let silence be your answer. Because not everything deserves your voice, and sometimes not responding is the most powerful response. Every time we react on impulse, we give away our power. The quiet truth: silence is not emptiness, it's space. It's the pause that allows wisdom to surface before emotion takes over. Emotional control isn't about burying your feelings, it's about choosing how you respond instead of letting your feelings choose for you. I remember speaking with a young man who struggled with a quick temper, not violent but reactive. A delay in service sparked an argument. A disagreement triggered raised voices. A friend's mistake led to lashing out, followed by regret. I told him, "You're not tired because of the world. You're tired because of the fire you keep feeling inside yourself. That fire is reaction. But silence? Silence is the water that cools the flame. The moment between trigger and response, that's your power. That's where awareness lives. When you don't rush to react, you shift from emotional impulse to conscious intelligence. You move from noise to strength. It's in the daily moments when a sibling annoys you and you stay calm. When someone cuts you off in the traffic and you choose peace over rage. When a coworker claims your credit but you let your work speak for itself. You win not through clever comebacks, but by protecting your peace. People ask often, how do I stay silent when I'm hurt? You do not stay silent forever. You stay silent for now, to create space, to honor your energy. Because words spoken in anger echo longer than expected, and silence can protect what matters most. I once met a teacher who had mastered this art. No matter how her students behaved, she remained composed. Her secret? Before I speak, I ask, is this coming from ego? If so, I stay silent until the ego passes. Most of our reactions stem from ego. How dare they? I'll show them. They don't know who they are dealing with. But silence severs ego's grip. It turns chaos into clarity. It transforms us from puppet to observer, from victim to master. And once you have mastered your emotions, people feel that presence. So the next time life throws a challenge at you, try this. Pause, breathe, let the wave pass. Then respond, not with force, but with awareness. That space of silence is where your true strength begins. When you sit in silence, your soul begins to speak. You uncover thoughts buried beneath the noise. You reconnect with yourself. Suddenly, what once felt confusing starts to become clear. There is a story of a man who came to a spiritual master, overwhelmed and lost. He said, I've done everything, read, talked, tried, but I still feel empty. The master handed him a bowl of water and said, Stir. The water grew cloudy. Then the master said, Now let it sit. Slowly, the sediment settled and the surface cleared. Clarity doesn't come from effort, it comes from stillness. Think about how we begin most days, waking to notifications, news, noise. We react before we reflect. And in that cycle, we forget to ask, how am I really doing? What is my heart telling me? Am I living intentionally or just going through motions? Silence invites those questions back, and it gives you space to finally hear the answers. Ever notice how your best ideas arrive in quiet places? During a walk, in the shower, sitting by a window. Modern life has taught us to fear silence. We fill it with noise, conversations, content. But silence isn't empty, it's full, full of insight, truth, and everything we keep searching for on the outside. Even in relationships, the most profound moments often don't need words. Sitting with someone you love in peaceful silence can create deeper connection than 100 conversations. That kind of silence is sacred. It's where the soul finds rest. So when life feels overwhelming, don't rush outward, turn inward. Find a quiet corner. Turn down the noise. Let your emotions rise, then release. Let your inner voice speak. Because silence isn't just peace, it's alignment. It brings your thoughts, your actions, your purpose into harmony. You begin to live from presence, not pressure, from awareness, not reaction. The greatest decisions aren't made in noise or haste, they are born in stillness. And the answers that truly matter don't come from others, they come from within. If you're tired, uncertain, confused, maybe what you need isn't more information. Maybe you simply need silence. Because everything you've been searching for has been waiting inside you all along. Manifestation isn't just about thinking positively or repeating affirmations. It's about becoming the person who effortlessly attracts what they desire. And silence plays a deeply underrated role in this. When your mind is quiet, your energy becomes focused. When your emotions are balanced, your intentions become pure. And when you are still, you become receptive to the guidance the universe has been whispering all along. In silence, you pause the noise and finally hear your deepest desires. You don't manifest what your mind thinks you want. You manifest what your soul truly craves for. That inner nudge, that subtle gut feeling, it's drowned out by constant noise. Silence brings it forward. Manifestation flows best when guided by intuition, not reaction. Silence is faith in motion. It says, I don't have to force this, I just have to align with it. That's the magic of non resistance, where your desires meet divine timing. There's a reason the most ancient manifestation practices include meditation, breathwork, and stillness. Because the universe doesn't shout, it whispers, and only the silent ones hear it. So, if you're trying to manifest love, success, peace, abundance, don't just speak it. Become the space where it arrives. Silence isn't absence, it's presence. And presence is the soil where your dreams take root.